Thank you. Good morning. My name is Bob Bassett. As you can see on the screen, you all know by now, I guess, after 15 years. First time we've ever had this happen on Community in 15 years of the show. We have not one, friends, but two floor directors today. We have Dick Sanford and Steve Doughton, two floor directors, and no cameraman. No, actually we do. We have Ken Sullivan on one camera, and we have Kathleen Wilcox on the other camera. The subject is art today, and we have two very distinguished people as our guests. On the first half of Community, I'd like to have you meet Mr. Louis Sylvia, who has been a painter for 56 years, and he is regarded as one of the nation's finest marine painters. He has a studio at 806 Fisher Road in North Dartmouth. And let me tell you a little story before I start talking with Louis. About a month ago, during Massachusetts Art Week, you may recall that we did two shows with Walter Owen and Mary Lindenberg, contemporaries of yours, Louis.
That's right.
And in the course of the conversation, Walter Owen was showing a painting, and he said, this is done by a student of Louis Sylvia's. And I said, oh, yes. I said, I've never met Louis Sylvia, but I have a print of his hanging in my bathroom. And perfectly innocent statement. Well, when the show was played back a few days later, some friends of Louis took everything out of context. I don't know how they described it to you over the telephone, Louis, but they said, you know what Bassett said? He's got your work hanging in his bathroom. They might have used even stronger words than that, friend, that they took it out of context, Lou.
Oh, that's all right.
I don't know how they described it to you, but nautical scenes.
Well, that's what I like to do most. The fact for that was my father was a seaman.
Was he?
Yeah, he came over on a whaler, the little President. He sailed on the Four Brothers. And as a little fellow, I can recall going down to the docks to meet him. And even at that age, I liked to sketch boats, and I'd get out there and sketch. And then I kind of took interest in the sea.
Right.
Then I spent several years on the was at Colonel Green.
Oh, did you really?
Oh, yeah. I was a naval seaman there.
No kidding.
And when the World's Fair came on, I was appointed as captain of the Yankee at the New York World's Fair in 1938. From there, I sailed with Von Zielinski. From a little Chesapeake.
Really a background like that?
Yeah. The sea has been of great interest to me.
You've been close to the sea all your life,
I
then?
have, that's right. And I've always wanted to paint ships.
Did you have any formal training at all when you were younger?
Oh, yes. I'm an alumnus of the Swing School of Design. Then I went to New York to study at the Academy, the Art Students League, where I studied with Levy and Blackman and Crow.
Some distinguished names.
Yes, they're all academicians.
Right. And you teach art in New Bedford. You have your own studio, of course.
I have my own studio, and I have approximately 100 students that come through every week.
Is that right? Every week?
Every week.
100 students?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, there's 7 classes, and they're divided. 2 of them are with me today at the studio.
Do you believe in that old adage that one is born with natural talent for art? Do you think you could take anybody at all, and teach them to paint reasonably well?
Well, I say this. Anyone who even asks to study, that wants to study, they have a natural talent, or they wouldn't be interested. Now, you speak of people having to have a natural talent. I think everyone has a natural talent for something.
That's true.
And when people even mention that they want to paint, they must have the natural talent, or they wouldn't be interested. Now, you take on the streets, how many people would be interested in coming to an art class? Very few. Those that do naturally must have a natural talent.
That's right.
If they like it, they can learn.
How young are some of your students?
Well, the youngest student I have now is, I would say, about 16. Although, no, excuse me, I have a little fellow, 13, from the Friends Academy. But most of them range from high school age, let's say from 7 to 80.
7 to 80?
Yeah.
Do you teach now just painting, oils, or do you go beyond that?
Well, no, I have oil classes, and I have watercolor classes. I have one class which was really made up of advanced students that have been with me for a long time.
I see.
Then I have some classes, people who want to paint just for the hobby of painting. Those are mostly in the day classes.
I see.
And some of them are very talented.
We have 2 paintings by Louis Sylvia to show to you now. 2 of just hundreds and hundreds of fine works of art that Louis has done in his career. And the first one will be, okay, this is titled, are we taking the ship first, Kathy? Okay.
Charles W. Morgan.
This is the famous Charles W. Morgan, that is now berthed permanently in Mystic, Connecticut. The Morgan by Moonlight. Is that the title of it, Louis?
Morgan in Moonlight.
Morgan in Moonlight. When did you do that, and how long did it take?
I just completed that, in fact, this morning.
This morning?
Yeah.
Is that
it
right?
was completed this morning.
God.
It was done as a demonstration for my students.
Mm-hmm. That is just magnificent. I would think, and I only dabble in cartooning, but I would think that doing a work like that of ships must be, of course, now you're so close to that particular subject matter that it probably comes easy to you, but to a beginner to paint a ship like that, a whaling ship, would be a bit difficult. I mean, it is very intricate.
Yes, it is. Well, knowing the ship is really half the battle.
Mm-hmm.
Having spent as much time as I have aboard ships, it's a natural feeling for me, but it's surprising how well the students do by describing the rigging to them,
Right.
and they do very well.
Now, our director, John Mason, and Kathy Wilcox are getting it from a different angle. Now, the next one, I hope this one wasn't completed also in the morning, was it?
No, this I finished about 2 weeks ago.
Right, and this is called Westport Harbor. People, of course, in this area, they'll instantly recognize the scene. Do you do a lot of the work?
The title itself is The Beachcombers. You see, I have featured people in it. The location is Westport Harbor. And just off center, I have little figures combing the beach after the storm. That was the whole idea of the painting.
Mm-hmm. Do you do a lot of location painting, Louis?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. That I like to do, especially at this time of the year. I take the group out with me and paint right from location.
Right. The Beachcombers is the title of this, and the scene is Westport Harbor.
When you get up close, these figures you see will be there. The picture is my own little dog. I come in a feature on most every painting I paint. He becomes one of the...
That's lovely. How often do you have exhibits of your work, Louis?
Oh, I've had several one-man shows, and each year I go to about 2 or 3 different exhibits.
Mm-hmm. Louis Sylvia has been my guest on the first half of Community this Tuesday morning. If you would like more information, you can contact Mr. Sylvia at his studio, 806 Fisher Road in North Dartmouth. And Louis, anytime at all, you can come back on and bring as many paintings as you wish the next time.
Well, I've enjoyed being here.
Same here.
And it was nice seeing you again.
My pleasure. Mr. Louis Sylvia